Okay. Let me see, cause alright, my recorder is lagging, so maybe I'm recording right now, but maybe I'm not recording. So we have the NBA, we have the Spurs. My NBA predictions for the 2021 to 2022 to 2023 NBA season. So today we'll be talking about how I believe the standings will be and the playoffs will be. Let's start it. Now, my 15th seed for the West, it does not much order, but fifth around order maybe. So these teams will not be making the play-in. The Spurs are one of them. Next is the Jazz, 14th seed. OKC without Chet will not make play-in. Another sad season for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 12th seed Rockets. Now Rockets are pretty nice, but Rockets still are really young. And then Kings. Many people are hyping up the Kings, but the Kings are, I believe, are still not even going to make the playoffs and not going to break their streak. Now for the East. For the East, we have some pretty nice, actually, teams. So these teams any team in the East, I believe, can maybe make the play-in, but right now, here's my teams that don't make the playoffs. We have the Indiana Pacers, Detroit Pistons Detroit Pistons are pretty nice, actually, but Kay Cunningham and Jaden Ivey and them. Orlando Magic also pretty nice with Paolo and Wendell Carter Jr., Franz Wagner, Cole Anthony. They have a lot of good depth. Charlotte Hornets, now they're going to take a big dive because losing Miles Bridges, not even gaining much. Also losing Montrezl Harrell, not gaining any good players at all. And LaMelo is still in pretty bad shape for the team. Wizards. Now I was contemplating putting Knicks or Wizards here. I think Wizards or Knicks can make the final play-in spot. Wizards have a lot of good talent on their team, so I believe they can do really well, actually, and make the play-in, but I just put the Knicks. Alright, here's my play-in teams. Lakers as the 9th seed. Kind of surprising because many people think they'll be better, but I believe they will be like last year, except they're actually going to make the play-in, so they improve a little. Blazers 10th seed. Now, a lot of people put Kings here. I think Blazers are better than the Kings. You can never underestimate Damian Lillard, and he has gotten, actually, I believe, a better team than what he had before when he made the conference finals. I believe he has a better team. CJ replaced by Anthony Simons, but they got a third player in Jeremy Grant. Now, we have, surprisingly, actually, the West is really stacked, so I didn't know what teams to put here. But 7th seed is the Grizzlies. Now, some people predict them to be the 1st seed, but I believe without Jaren Jackson Jr. And not making too much moves in the offseason, they will be the 7th seed. But seeding does not matter too much now in the West and East since they're so stacked. 8th seed, Pelicans. Now, the Pelicans are really good. I believe they can win a playoff series this year. But, unfortunately, I had to put them in the AFC because I do not know how they are better than the other teams that I put. But that's why the West and also the East are really stacked. NBA is just stacked in the general that I put the Pelicans in the AFC. Now, these are just my predictions. My predictions can be way off. Next, we have the New York Knicks being the 10th seed. Atlanta Hawks is going to be the 9th seed. The Raptors are going to be 8th seed, which is kind of surprising. And the Hawks being 9th seed is surprising because they got DeJounte Murray. And the 7th seed Bulls, they'll take a dive, losing Lonzo, but still be 7th seed. Now, a lot of people have the Bulls and Hawks the Raptors and Hawks over the Bulls, but I believe the Bulls can do better than them. But it's like a really hard. Now, going back to the rest, I believe the Lakers will win the Blazers because of LeBron James. And I believe the Grizzlies will be able to win the Pelicans, which means it's a battle between Zion and LeBron, which is pretty fun for a play-in game. It's like the play-in game with LeBron and Curry, but instead of Zion. And Memphis Grizzlies will advance to the 7th seed. And for the East, I have the Hawks winning the Knicks. The Knicks will not have anyone to help them in playoffs time. They lost to the Hawks too. This will be a really fun matchup for a play-in tournament game. Now the Hawks did win 2 play-in tournaments, including versus the Cavs, so I believe they can win the Knicks easily. Raptors losing to the Bulls, surprisingly, because Bulls will definitely have Lonzo back. DeMar DeRozan is going to be pretty good, and LaVine. I believe the Bulls will be able to win the Raptors. Hawks versus Raptors. It can go anyway, but I believe Raptors will win. But I also believe that the Pelicans will win the Lakers, since their team is really deep, and they have shown that they can win play-in games, at least, because they won 2 versus the Spurs and the Clippers, and they almost beat the Suns in the playoffs. So I believe they can win the Lakers. Now, as I said before, I had the Raptors going there. So that means the Lakers and Blazers missing the playoffs, and that means the Hawks and Knicks missing the playoffs. Put these here. Now I'm going to say my my seeding for the West. First seed, I believe, is the Warriors. Second seed, I believe, will be the Suns. Now that's a little bit surprising for the drama, but Suns usually win a lot of games in the in the regular season, but the playoffs are just where they crumble. Clippers third seed, Kawhi is back, PG is back for he only played like half of the season, and the Clippers without PG and Kawhi for most of the season still managed to get a 42-40 record, which is really good with their role players. So I believe they can do good in the regular season, even with load managing Kawhi. Next, we have the Nuggets. With the return of Murray and Porter Jr., they were the 6th seed, I believe, last season without them. And now adding them and KCP with Bruce Brown, I believe they will have a really good, they'll be one of the contenders in the West. And they're the 4th seed. 5th seed, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves because of their Rudy Gobert is going to help them win a lot of games in the regular season. The Jazz were a 1st seed 2 years ago with a less talented squad than now. So they're definitely going to be good in the regular season. Next, we have the Dallas Mavericks going to be the 6th seed. Dallas Mavericks are gonna take a little fall because the West getting pretty stacked now, but they're still Luka, and Luka does magic. Next, we have the Bucks for the 1st seed of the East. The Bucks are the champions of 2021, and I believe with Giannis, they will always win a lot of games. Number 2, we have Boston Celtics. Although Ime Udoka is gone, they still are a pretty good team, and they were really good in the regular season, enough to go from the 10th seed to the 2nd seed. So I believe they can be 2nd seed again. 3rd seed, Philly. Philly will win a lot of games with James Harden and Joel Embiid in a duo for a full season, in their first full season. And PJ Tucker addition, along with a lot of other players like Montrezl Harrell, will lead them to a pretty good record. Now we go to the Brooklyn Nets. KD, Kyrie, Ben Simmons. That's all you need to know about the Brooklyn Nets, plus their additions of a lot of really solid role players than last year. Last year they had no role players. That's why they sucked in the playoffs. They had to rely on Kyrie and KD, but now they have Ben Simmons, Joe Harris back, TJ Warren, Royce O'Neal, and a lot of other really good players. Next, we have the Miami Heat taking a little fall, but I believe that they're not as talented as the other teams, and showing that they're still a contender, but they're just not going to win as many games, I believe. 6, Cavaliers. Cavaliers just added Donovan Mitchell to their team. They're going to win a lot of games, but I don't know if they're better than all of the other teams yet for now. They will definitely in the future. Now let's go to the playoffs. I have the Warriors winning the Pelicans in 6. Now, Pelicans sadly will fall here, but they will put up a really good fight against the Warriors. They have Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, who will guard them. Draymond will guard one of them, but I don't know who's going to guard the other one. So it's going to be a really tough series for the Warriors, but the Warriors will win since Stephen Curry is just too good. Next, I have the Nuggets winning the Timberwolves in 7. Now, the Timberwolves did really well, but in playoff time, Rudy Gobert chokes under the pressure, and the Minnesota Timberwolves choked versus the Grizzlies really hard last season. And now they lost Patrick Beverley, although they got a few other good players. So I believe they will lose to the Nuggets with a rejuvenated Jokic with Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., and also a lot of additions. Next, we have the Phoenix Suns winning the Memphis Grizzlies in 6. Memphis last year lost to the Warriors in 6. Phoenix, although really, I believe this will be a really good fight because I don't know who's going to guard Ja in the Suns. But then, who will guard CP3 is the question. If CP3 chokes, the Grizzlies win. But I believe the Suns, this is their last chance to do something. So the Suns will win in 7 or 6. Now I have the Clippers winning the Mavericks in the Battle of LA Part 3. Battle of Mavericks versus Clippers Part 3. Because Luka now, his supporting cast is even worse than before. It's still pretty good. But he's the only star. So I think that the Clippers can win in 6 games. Next, we have the West. Warriors winning the Nuggets in 7. Now, Warriors still going to win the Nuggets, even though the Nuggets have all their players back with new additions. But it can go either way. Most of these series can go either way, and I am not lying. I have the Clippers winning the Suns. Now, the Suns last season, 2 seasons ago, won the Clippers in 6 without Kawhi and of course John Wall and them. And now with John Wall, Kawhi, I believe, and the Suns falling down, losing to the Mavericks, I believe the Clippers will make it to the conference finals again for the second time in history. And pretty surprisingly, I have the Clippers making it to the finals over the Warriors. Now, the Warriors are a really good team, but both teams are old. Clippers and Warriors have depth. They're really evenly matched, to be honest. So any team can win, to be honest. But I'm picking the Clippers in 7 just because the Warriors might be gassed from last season, winning the championship. And who will guard Kawhi and PG and John Wall at the same time? East, Bucks winning the Raptors in 6. Now, the Giannis will dominate. Chris Middleton will do really well. Jrue Holiday, they have more firepower than the Raptors. Ben Simmons, Brooklyn Nets. Wow, I just said that. Whatever. KD and the Brooklyn Nets are going to win because they just have so much talent. I believe they want revenge really bad. And they're a really good team. I say Nets in 7. Next, we have the Celtics winning the Bulls in 6. Now, the Bulls, DeMar DeRozan usually gets kind of bad in the playoffs because of his play style. So, Celtics in 6 or 7. Next, we have Sixers versus Cavs. Now, Sixers winning in 6 because the Cavs don't have much playoff experience, and also the Sixers have Joel Embiid and James Harden, so it's really good. Bucks winning the Nets in 7. Now, this is going to be a really tough series for both teams. Although the Nets almost beat the Bucks with literally just KD in the last 3 games, the Bucks will get revenge. Although, I think, personally, that the Nets have a pretty good chance to beat the Bucks too. Sixers going versus beating the Celtics. Celtics did really well last year, but without Ime Udoka and Al Horford getting older, I believe the Sixers can win, and Joel Embiid will make it to his first Eastern Conference Finals. I have the Sixers, which is a shocker, beating the Bucks. Joel versus Giannis. This is going to be a really tough series. And this series just basically is going to be if James Harden goes off. If he goes off, Jrue Holiday will definitely guard him. If he goes off, Tyrese Maxey goes off, and PJ Tucker holds his own, the Sixers can win the Bucks. Joel is a really good defender for Giannis. If they do that, PJ Tucker can guard Chris Middleton, and Jrue Holiday, not many people will guard him, but he's a pretty good scorer too, though. And then at the end, I have the Clippers winning. Now, this is just, I believe like maybe 10 teams in the NBA can win the championship right now. The whole playoffs have a little chance. Even the play-in, like the Lakers, if everything goes right for them, they can win. But I'm saying the Clippers winning because Kawhi coming back basically leads them to a whole new level. Their depth is unreal, so if injuries happen, they will still have a really good bench. And then Sixers, James Harden usually is alright, but like at the end of the series, he's not going to be too good, although in his first finals with Joel Embiid. So yeah, that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. Well.